They strolled through the graveyard of pylons. The pylons stood in bundles along the dark gray wasteland. The bombs had turned this now restricted zone into a skeleton of what used to be. The man and child gripped hands through large black gloves. Rubble crunched under their boots. Their face masks were covered in dust and dirt. The dust was not just from the houses that had fallen or the skyscrapers that had collapsed, it was from the thousands of bodies that had burned. Their thick coats were drowned in the dust as well. Thunder roared overhead as the path ahead was lit by the storm. It would be a long journey, but they had to get away from what followed. They moved slowly. The child was limping as the older man dragged him along, begging him to hurry up. In the fast-moving mist behind them, screams could be heard, women, children, men. "We have to get to them rocky hills before nightfall," the man shouted. The child was struggling to keep up and blood started to drip from the bottom of his gray cargo pants. "David, hurry up." The man's voice got louder and sounded more urgent. David groaned. "My leg is bleeding again, Dad." The man looked at David's leg. He stopped running and hastily got his backpack off. He pulled out a bandage and David sat down. "Okay, I'm going to bandage your leg. We have less than a minute, then we move ag." The man was interrupted by a loud rumbling sound. He looked back at the mist. He threw the bandage, quickly grabbed his backpack and then threw David over his shoulder. He ran faster than before, the weight of David pressing down on him. He headed towards the hills. From his back David started shouting, "Dad, Dad, close your eyes, son." The rumbling got louder, and the father started feeling the cold on the back of his neck as if death was crawling behind him. "I love you, son," the father shouted. The mist consumed them into the cold. As their screams faded away,